Hello from Acrisure Stadium, and let's face it, whether it's called Acrisure Stadium or Heinz Field, what it really is, it's a pain in the neck for the Browns to come over here and play because, quite simply, they don't win, and they didn't win today. Final score 28-14 as the Pittsburgh Steelers end the season at 9-8, and the Browns end the season at, brace for it, 7-10. That's not easy to say, and it's not good to look at, and it wasn't good to watch all season long. The Browns could never get this season going. Maybe that started back in March when they made the big move and got Deshaun Watson and realized there were going to be all kinds of problems and a big-time suspension coming down the pike. But there were really two seasons as we went along. There were the first 11 games with Jacoby Brissett, and the Browns went 4-7. And then there were the 6 games when Deshaun Watson was finally eligible to play, and they went 3-3. But the Browns could never really establish any kind of defensive identity all season long. So no matter what was going on with the quarterback position, and I get it, there was a lot going on, the fact of the matter was the Browns coming into the season felt they were not only going to be a good defense, they really felt that would be an underestimation of them. They were going to be a great defense. They were anything but a great defense. Early in the season when games were winnable, they became losses because the Browns defense came up with some huge mistakes at huge points in ball games, critical losses early in the season. And then, typified by this final game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, when the Browns cut the margin down to 6, with still ample amount of time left to go in the game, it was the Browns defense once again that couldn't get off the field. 3rd down and long, a 17-yard pass to George Pickens. 3rd down and long, a pass for 26 yards down the middle to a rookie tight end in Connor Haywood, and then pass interference in the end zone. And you know the story. The Steelers get a late touchdown and put the game out of reach. When the game had to be won defensively, with supposedly an elite defense, that defense did not reside in a Cleveland Browns uniform. So on defense, there are all kinds of problems. The secondary, once again, in this final game of the season, had a huge mistake right before halftime on a 3rd down and 15. They give up a 31-yard wide-open touchdown pass from Pickett to Pickens. And the pass should have been picked off if they had any kind of defensive coverage in the secondary. Those are the kind of mistakes they made. Those are the kind of mistakes that they have continued to make since the Browns had their most glorious win a couple of years ago with nobody in the stadium in a playoff game when they defeated the Steelers to move on to the next round before losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. Really, at that point in time, it looked like the Browns had turned the corner and were on the rise to go up through the ranks. But for the last 2 years, and certainly with an asterisk this year because of what happened with the Deshaun Watson situation, the Browns continue to regress. A losing season last year at 8-9, and now 7-10 this season. And where are they going from here? Now, I know you can say, well, Deshaun Watson will play the entire season next year, and I'm good with that. But defensively, the Browns are going to have to be much better to win anywhere, but specifically in this division. And let's face it, if you're going to win the division and you're going to be a great team, you have to start being able to come over here and win. You have to start being able to go to Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium and beat the Ravens on the road. If you can't do that, really, are you really going to be able to call yourself a division champion? The final score today was 28-14. The final number that's even worse than that, 7-10 on the season for the Cleveland Browns. When you don't make the playoffs, the next day at the end of the regular season becomes really scary and really interesting. That day is coming up tomorrow. Around the NFL, they call it Black Monday. If you don't make the playoffs, normally changes are on the way. So we'll wait and see. And as they say in the television business, stay tuned. It could be interesting this week in Berea. From Pittsburgh, I'm Jim Donovan for WKYC.com.